Speaking at a UN Security Council meeting, the Chinese ambassador to the UN called for an independent, just, and objective investigation. Liu Jie said it's too early to jump to a conclusion or make any assumptions or trade accusations. The priority now is to establish the facts. He also called upon all parties to offer coordination and cooperation in this investigation. Many questions remain about the crash of flight MH17. To try and answer them, investigators will be looking at everything from debris at the site to the plane's black boxes. And CCTV's Jim Spellman joins us with more on that, and a lot of unconfirmed reports floating around out there now, Jim, about whether the black boxes have been recovered or not. And
this is more like a crime scene investigation than it is usually a disaster investigation. Investigators feel confident that this plane was shot out of the sky by a surface-to-air missile fired from within territory controlled by the separatists in eastern Ukraine. But speaking Friday, President Obama here in Washington made it clear that the investigation is far from over.
But I think it's very important for us to make sure that we don't get out ahead of the facts. And at this point, in terms of identifying specifically what individual or group of individuals or personnel ordered the strike, how it came about, those are things that I think are still going to be subject to additional information that we're going to be gathering.
To answer those questions about who's behind the missile strike, investigators are focusing on several key areas. First, of course, they're going to want to look at the wreckage site. They want to look at any possible missile residue that could be on parts of the fuselage. They'll want to get those so-called black boxes, the voice data recorder and the voice recorder and the flight data recorder, although those potentially may not have much information in them. A huge concern at this scene is potentially tampering with the evidence. This has been open to people, locals, villagers who live near the area, plus, of course, these militia members from this offshoot part of Ukraine. The concern is that either there could be evidence taken away from the crime scene, or even that false evidence could be added to this crime scene. Investigators will also look at the satellite imagery. They'll try to track the location of the weapons system used. It's quite large, before, during, and after this crash, Susan.
yeah, and how do you go about tracking down the people who launched this? I mean, there have been some reports out there of audio recordings, but they haven't been confirmed by any government. How do you go about this?
Huge amounts of potential misinformation on social media and elsewhere about this, but intelligence operatives, literally from all over the world, Russians will be doing this, Ukrainians will be doing this, the Americans will be doing this, will do what spies do. They will monitor telephone calls, online communication, trying to find chatter, as they call it, about what's been going on and where the people who operated this are now. It takes at least 4, maybe more like 10 people to operate this weapon system. Investigators who are experienced at this tell me that these early days of the investigation will be crucial. Listen.
I think if they do find evidence of a missile, then I think that that's going to bring this to fruition very quickly. Now, then it's going to determine who shot it, and whether they can track and trace the track back to its site, that may be. So the answer, I think, is depending on the initial forensic evidence that they're going to get.
But with investigators having difficulty even getting access to the site, it's unclear really what course this investigation will take, Susan.
Exactly, being turned back right now. Well, the next 24, 48 hours is going to be very interesting. Jim Spellman with that, thank you.